Hello friends, hi, good evening, welcome to my channel. My name is Freya, I am a film composer and a vocalist, and if you're new here, so am I. This is my first ever proper YouTube video. I've been meaning to do this for a really long time. I have so many thoughts, and I would love to share them with you, and I really hope that you like them. And if you don't, well, I hope that they make you think. I've been meaning for a long time to talk about the kind of feminist issues and queer issues inside the film industry, and I've been a film composer for 15 years, so I've kind of seen a lot of stuff on the inside now, and I just have lots of thoughts about this that I think are interesting that not a lot of people inside the industry tend to share. So I wanted to kick this one off with a subject that is very close to my heart and close to my rage, and that is the feminist issue with male composers using female vocalists. And this one cuts deep because I am a singer as well as a composer, and it's deeply personal. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about it is because I want to share what it feels like on the inside. So to start with, this is like a time-honored tradition, right? Like male composers have been using female vocals for a very, very long time. It's one of many instruments that are available to them, and these scores are spectacular. Like we're talking about Lord of the Rings by Howard Shore, which is like the reason why I became a film composer in the first place. Arrival, spectacular score by Johann. Beautiful. Dune, Hans Zimmer, lots and lots of lady vocals. Murder at the End of the World, Saunder, Jurriaans, and Bensi. It's a really interesting score, lots of female vocals. And most recently, and the reason why this came to mind for me at all, why I thought like, I think it's time to talk about this, is that I was watching Adolescence, which is a really wonderful UK TV show that is a very interesting exploration of toxic masculinity in Gen Alpha and like the internet age. And I think there's a really interesting conversation happening around that. Plus, it's beautifully crafted, but it is scored by two men. And for a show that is about toxic masculinity, it had a score that was primarily made up of floaty female vocals. And I was just sitting there being like, why? Why? So I had to think about it, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but this is something that you find out in like the first 10 minutes. But the only thing I could think of is that it was the voice of the dead girl at the center of this show, and I just thought that was not particularly interesting. But the main thing that frustrated me was the way that the vocals were treated, being these sort of floaty, ethereal vocals from beyond the grave. And it felt like yet another example of male composers, intentionally or not, using female vocals and erasing any of the meaning from the performance.
Which is like a real bummer.
By necessity, to a male composer, a voice, a female voice especially, is an object, right? To use a female voice is inherently objectifying it because you have to reduce it down to something that you can move around in your session. And I think that is to dire artistic detriment. And the reason why I say that is because there's a whole amount of humanity and meaning and depth of experience that is injected into that performance. But when you're a man, you don't understand that. That richness comes from our experiences and our daily life and all of the things that we bring to the table as an artist when we're trying to be a part of telling a story. That's everything that we're trying to imbue the music with. But a man mixing a voice that isn't his can't put that feeling into the score because it doesn't belong to him. And he may not even be aware of that feeling. So as a composer and vocalist, I have experienced this from the inside, and it is really personal because I have been doing session singing for as long as I've been doing film music, and as I get older, I feel less and less inclined to give my voice to other people's compositions. And the reason for that is twofold. One is that I really just don't like the way that they treat my vocals. The emotional intention that I sing with and the way that they mix it just feels like it ends up making them feel empty. And that sucks. And secondly, they're getting a composer and a singer for the price of a singer. I've often seen a bit of the scene that I'm going to be singing, or I've listened to some of the music from the cue from that scene, but mostly I'm not given like sheet music and there are sort of instructions. I'll often have a chat with the composer and talk about what it is they're trying to compositionally achieve, and then I do my way of doing that. And I think there's a problem there too, because I have a compositional and vocal intention when I am performing on someone else's score. But that compositional intention cannot be honored by the composer because they're going to honor their own compositional intention, which, as they should. I think what that means, though, is that this can end up feeling deeply unsatisfying as a singer and a composer, and at worst, it can feel really dehumanizing. So I have one other gripe. For some reason, when male composers use female vocals, their scores are not seen as feminine. But when I sing in my own scores, even if I'm making like a weird ass bog witch track that scares the living shit out of myself, that is somehow seen as feminine. And it never seems to work against men because they've like plucked an instrument out of the air, but I didn't. My voice is part of who I am. It is so inherently linked to me as an artist and a human being, as a singer and composer. And I guess that means that I sound feminine. I should say too that I definitely don't have a problem with sounding feminine. It's part of who I am. It's a really deep part of who I am. But my issue is that other people have a problem with my femininity in my music. And I guess it just seems like there's a really frustrating double standard that men get to use female vocals and walk away without consequence. But I don't. Somehow my music is seen as like girl. All right, so I wanted to share some examples with you of female composers who are also singers that write their own music and they sing on other people's projects. And I want you to hear the difference between when they're doing session vocals for some dude composer and what it sounds like when they're honoring their own artistic voice and singing for their own scores. So the first one is Lisa Gerrard, who is an incredible singer, composer. She's also Australian, shout out. She is from a band called Dead Can Dance. So she already had like a very established music career when she started working on film scores. And as far as I can tell, one of the earlier examples of that is Son of God, which is a film that Hans Zimmer and Lorne Balfe scored, and she sang on it on a track called Faith. Have a listen to this part of the track.
And believe. It is you. Because you see me, you believe. Blessed are those who have not seen me, and yet have believed. When the Holy Spirit comes to you, you'll receive power. The power of the Holy Spirit can be with you all, wherever you are. Go into the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Peace be with you.
Okay, I had to listen so hard to find her in that. I'm quite familiar with her voice and I know what to listen for. She's got a very particular timbre. I found it really difficult to find her in that piece. She's very buried in the mix. And then let's compare that to Gladiator, which is a film that I'm sure you're all familiar with. And this is a piece that I'm sure you all know. It's called Now We Are Here. And this was unbelievably famous because of Lisa Gerrard. So this is a film that was scored by Hans Zimmer, but he brought her on to do session vocals for the final piece. And I think she just did such an incredible job that he ended up crediting her as a co-composer on that piece. And listen to the difference.
Wishes is safe.
Okay, and I'm going to play you one more piece, which is from a film called The Mist. She also didn't score this film, but she wrote a song that was used in it, which is called The Host of Seraphi. And this is just so special. Have a listen. Let this woman go to town. The pain and the beauty and the life that she injects into every performance is just fucking unmatched, frankly. And I think it is a testament to her artistry that when she is allowed to just let loose, something magical happens. And I think that is a testament to her having the compositional space to really be herself. Okay, so let's jump into the next example. This is Caroline Shaw, who's an amazing vocalist and composer. She's in a choir called Roomful of Teeth. She's amazing. So she did some session vocals for a film called Bombshell a few years ago, which is a feminist exploration of three women fighting the patriarchy inside the media industry. And it was composed by Theodore Shapiro, who did Severance recently. You might be thinking, why, Freya, did a male composer score a film that is a deeply feminist exploration of three women fighting the patriarchy inside the media industry? And to that, I would say, I don't know, man. Literally none of the heads of department were women. So, just going to leave that there for you to think about. Anyway, here is some of the music from Bombshell, where Caroline Shaw was singing. Now I'm going to play for you a snippet of Fleishman is in Trouble, which is a TV show that Carolyn Shaw scored a while ago, and the vocals in it are so interesting. I feel like they're really quite daring and dynamic, and I think that it shows her range in a really different way. Have a listen.
I'm divorced.
That was true. The app needed a pick.
Hey, you.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Tongue emoji.
You're cute.
You're a doctor?
Good for you.
Vampire emoji.
Where do you live?
Where do you live?
I live in Brooklyn. I have a place in Queens.
Like a doctor in the hospital or a doctor of English?
Octopus emoji.
Remind me where the liver is? If you're an asshole.
Please know I've been down that road before.
And no thank you.
I grew up in LA too.
Well, friends, you lost a full Saturday right there.
So I went into social work, and I miss it all the
I
time.
think I've had too much to drink. Fingers crossed emoji.
And then the whole weekend.
Winding down with a glass of wine.
I'm into older guys.
You remind me of someone.
Grandpa emoji.
You're hot.
Angry with possible smoke coming from sides of the mouth emoji.
You have to understand that Toby was not exactly a desired property in his
You're
youth.
so handsome. Where have you been all my life?
Possible samba and evening gown emoji.
Glass of milk emoji.
Enough about me. What about you?
My dad was a doctor too.
Purple double emoji.
I used to sing jazz and
By late Sunday, his cheeks hurt from expressing joy and wonder. His wrist and hand were sore from repetitive stress.
So am I going to get to see that cute face soon?
But then, he suddenly realized this was real. Very little on earth stands still. That forward momentum is always available to pluck you from your sadness and invite you to rejoin the living.
I hope that you can tell the difference there, but I think what I'm really trying to emphasize is just how much emotion is injected into these scenes when a woman is in control of the vision. So I'm going to finish this off with some examples of my own work. This is from an Australian TV show called Bump that came out a little while ago that I did session vocals for. So have a listen.
I think you might be having a baby.
No, she's not.
No way, fuck that.
Really? We're in labour. Mum, support ahead. Support ahead.
She's having a baby.
Ollie, I'm gonna have to cut your underwear, sweetheart. Yeah, I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Take a quick look. Yeah, this baby's coming right now.
Now?
Now. Sorry.
Coming through behind. She's preeclampsia.
And then this is from a feature film that I scored that's on Netflix in Australia. It's called The Greenhouse, and this was me going to town. I hope you like it. And then one final example. This is from Totally Completely Fine, which is another Australian TV show that came out recently. I did some vocals for that. Here you go. And then this is from an amazing short film that I worked on, a queer film called The Fling. And this is me being able to score like a weird comedy horror romance and just get to play in a very strange sandbox. I really hope that you can tell the difference between those things. I feel so passionately about this. I feel like it's such a different experience when you can tell that there's a woman in the driver's seat and that we're allowed to be the authors of our own emotional work. And just to wrap this whole thing up, of course, men are allowed to use women's vocals. Like, that is totally fine. They can use it like any other instrument. But unlike a violin or a trumpet, there is a human being attached to a singing voice. And I think that you get something transcendent when you get to truly imbue a performance with your own experience and the richness of your life and the emotions that you feel inside your body. So I guess I'm trying to say, if you're telling a story that you think female vocals would make sense in, why not get a female composer who sings? I think that the amount of emotion and richness and depth that we bring to the table when we're really allowed to dig into our experiences is transcendent. And I think that it brings something so special to the stories that we're telling. And I suspect you're going to end up with a richer, more authentic result. Thank you so much, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I'll see you here again soon. Have a good evening.